Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it. Ow.
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else. Unlock peace and happiness.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to At the Root of It. My name is Shannon, and on tonight's show, we are going to be talking about Black History Month, appreciation. We're going to give some testimonies of people who have fought through cancer, some testimonies. I have some stories, and we're going to kick off Black History Month tonight. But before we get into it, I just want to give you our mission statement. Our mission statement is that we are building a community of both men and women who are on a journey of self-love and self-healing. Tonight's show should be a good show because we need to learn about appreciation and what it does to our psyche, what it does for the people that are surrounding us. When we give appreciation to the people who deserve appreciation, it just makes our heart better. It makes our relationships better. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, of course, we do what we always do, which is share, and share some more. So let's get to it. Ain't nothing but to do it, darlings. It is it's at the root of it tonight. All right, so share. Good evening, Tangela. Good evening, everybody. We're kicking off Black History Month tonight. You see, I got my bald head covered today because power to the people. Give the people what they want. So anyway, let's just share and share some more. Please let me know who's online. If you're online on YouTube, please let me know who's on. I would love to say hi and put you on. Okay, but this is the segment. I take my time with sharing because I really believe that there's somebody out there that may need this information, that may need to hear, this information. So, that's what we're going to do tonight, y'all. Hello, Sabrina. Hello, darling. Thank you for tuning in. I'm doing my sharing, and more sharing. That's what I do. All right. So, as I was going through tonight's show, right? I was asking God what to talk about, and He just gave me one word. He's been giving me one word for the past 3 weeks, right? And the first week was love. He gave me love, and He was talking about love. Then last week was hope, and this week is appreciation. And we really need to make the effort to show people how much we appreciate them now. A lot of times we wait until it's too late to give people their flowers. And I know I talk about that all the time, but it's very vital and it's very important due to the fact that what it will do was it will take away any guilt, any sorrow for things unsaid, you know? And I have a story that I want to read to you because it's still cancer in me, and some cancers don't go away, right? And people have to live with their diagnosis every day, but the appreciation of life is what's important, and how you live your life going forward is that much more important. You can either let this diagnosis or whatever the diagnosis is, because there's so many different forms of cancer out there. Um, but this diagnosis could follow you for the rest of your days, or like my pastor was talking about, or um, it can actually be a miracle. It's something that he wants you to do, or it's something that thorn will stick with you. That's what my pastor taught today. And I just really appreciated it. But I was looking at this video, and um, this girl said something, and it really like blew my mind, because when I first got diagnosed, my why was like, why I felt like I was doing everything right. I felt like I was in alignment with God. And my pastor talked about divine intervention. Good evening, Teef. I was looking for you, Mama Sita. He was talking about divine intervention, right? But what I want to talk about is divine interruption. Divine interruption, how the girl explained divine interruption, is that God will interrupt your whole life to help you get to where he wants you to go, or to fulfill your prayers. We don't know. We want God to do certain things in our lives. Not saying that he has to move the way we ask him to move, but when we send up prayers and we ask God to fix us, to change our lives, to take people out of our lives, to do, we ask God for a lot of different things. But we have no idea how God is going to do it, right? And this thing really spoke to me, because when she said a divine interruption is when something just blows up, like something dramatic happens in your life to shift you away from where you are, so that he can begin the process of taking you to his desired destination. Not even your desired destination, but for his purpose and destiny in your life. And sometimes we think we know the mind of Christ, but he said, my thoughts are higher than your thoughts, and my ways are higher than your ways. And so we don't know how he's going to shift our life to get us to where we're going. And that still goes back to the Joseph story, how I was talking about the Joseph story last week, because that was a divine interruption in Joseph's life. You know what I mean? Uprooted and had to shift in order for the vision to be manifested. So when I was listening to it, I was like, divine interruption, because today, who I am today is not who I was 5 months ago. My appreciation for life today is totally different than it was 5 months ago. And my thought process, my heart posture, my ideologies about what I want to do in my life, to help assist, because I believe I'm an evangelist. I don't have the title again. I told you I have in the beginning of my hi, Nikki Poo Poo. Hi. Hey, darling, I love you too, and I miss you. But we, I didn't know how he was going to shift my perspective and shift my life. I didn't even know that it was going to take a sickness to do it. But God is awesome and he's wisdom. He's wisdom at his finest. I always say he's so smart, right? And sometimes when we get these diagnoses, we just lose the appreciation of life. We just lose, our perseverance and our tenacity to push through because of what is presently going on, not knowing that he's working in the background to do the very thing that we ask or that he purposed in our life. So that was just a sidebar because I just really understood divine interruption. I felt like my life was divinely interrupted. I shifted, I moved from Florida to New York. My atmosphere changed, my circumstances changed, the people that were surrounding me changed, everything changed. I changed, but it's an interruption. So anyway, so when I was looking at this article about living with cancer, right? There was two particular stories that caught my attention. One was Stephanie's story with finding the light. Okay. Now she's been living with cancer since 2015. Stephanie W. is used to helping others to come to terms with their illness as a hospice nurse. She was a person patients relied on in their darkest time. I don't need these are not reading glasses. But one day in 2015, she woke up from a nap to a phone call that she was not ready for. It was one that put her on the other side of the nurse-patient relationship. The woman on the other end said, "I'm sorry to tell you, but you have breast cancer." And I just said, "Can I call you tomorrow so we can discuss this?" You interrupted my nap. She was like, she was not having it, right? She was just like, she didn't want to deal with it. And I understand that. You don't want to deal with everything face on, right? The news was too much, and all Stephanie wanted to do was go back to bed and pretend like it was a dream. But once her husband came home and they talked, reality began to set in. Together, they went into the hospital for weeks of scans and tests. She learned that the cancer had spread to her bones. Now listen, there's a reason why I'm reading this particular story, because this is my story. Okay? This is my story. So I want you to pay attention, okay? Because it spread to my bones too. Stephanie received a diagnosis of de novo stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, or MBC. I felt completely blindsided. I know my body well and I didn't feel anything, which I didn't either. I regularly did breast self-exams and went from screening mammograms, and I had no family history. That's not so much my case. I do have a family history of breast cancer. Good evening, Sister Rita. Good evening, good evening. Okay. However, Stephanie didn't let this stop her from moving forward in her life. She went through treatment while still caring for her patients. She had a bilateral mastectomy and went through chemotherapy, all while working 7 days on, 7 days off as a hospice nurse. I don't know how she did that, because it's really a lot. Being an advocate for her treatment, she was especially important. Being an advocate for her treatment was especially important to Stephanie. She made sure she found a doctor who she connected with and inspired her to keep fighting. My doctor was truly amazing because he knew who I was as a person. He answered all my questions, and his positive attitude gave me hope that I would be around for a long time. Stephanie was grateful to have a job that allowed her to take some time off to recover from each round of treatment. Still, balancing treatment with work wasn't easy, not only because of the side effects, but also because she was treating people who were near the end of their lives while coming to terms with her own diagnosis. One of them even had her type of cancer, and Stephanie remembers a moving conversation they had. One day, she told me that she knew a secret about me, that I had the same disease that she had. She said that she was dying, but that she was praying every day that I would live. We both sat there and cried. Moments like these, as well as the support from her family and birth of a grandchild, um, inspired Stephanie to keep fighting. The time came when she had to stop working due to health issues, which was hard for her. But Stephanie isn't one to stay in the dark for long. All day, every day, she searched on the internet for groups who can help her. Eventually, I found out about a group for MBC called Living Beyond Breast Cancer, and I went to my first conference. That's when I learned about the research going on around this type of cancer. More importantly, I learned that I was not the only African American woman who had it. Today, Stephanie is active in a number of groups and continues to be a light to those who are facing their darkest times. She volunteers with hospice, her local cancer center, and in hospitals as a patient and family experience volunteer. She is an advocate, especially for women of color with MBC, and offers her time to help others understand their diagnosis and what their healthcare teams are saying. She wants to make sure they are making the best decisions for themselves. She also maintains a Facebook group called Team Stephanie, which is a place where she can share her story and advocate for others with the support of her family and friends. Positive attitude, God, supportive family and friends, and a medical team that I trust all play together in my life as a thriver of MBC. Be inspired. That inspired me, okay? And that inspired me because that is the same kind of cancer I had. It's in my bones, and I'm not one to give up a fight. I'm not one to lay down and let something take over me. And that story gave me hope. But I also wanted to appreciate her because she didn't keep the information to herself, but she shared it. She shared it. She encourages people. She uplifts people. And she appreciates her life. And we need to appreciate our life. Appreciation goes a long way. So I found myself, that's right, Tifa. Now I'm a fighter. I've been a fighter all my life, and God knew that. And He knew I was gonna fight. And I've been, like I said, I've been a fighter all my life. But the appreciation of life came from this diagnosis. I didn't realize that I didn't appreciate my life until I had to fight for it. Isn't that deep? We do things and we know we're not supposed to do things. We put things in our body we know we're not supposed to put in our body. And it always takes something bad happening for us to realize and appreciate what we do have currently in our life. I have another story. And this is about Billy. Billy, and it's only a 4-minute reading. Maybe I'm just, maybe I'm babbling. Y'all let me know. Yes, Nikki, I'm a fighter. I'm going to fight. Yes, T, fighter and uplifter, and I'm going to do that. Right, G? Right, D? That was deep. Like, we don't even realize it. We don't realize how much we should appreciate that we have breath in our body. And we take things for granted that we shouldn't. Oh, yes, okay. I'm gonna, y'all. And the people connected to you appreciate life all the more too, sis. And I'm so grateful. And you know what? The thing is, we be asking God, why me, right? And he always told me, why not you? But then look at what Nikki said. You're helping somebody, right? So why not me? I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to encourage. I'm going to uplift. But we need to appreciate our life and where we are today. If you are healthy, give yourself a pat on your back, but fight to stay healthy. Okay, D, I'm going to keep reading because let me tell you about Billy's story. And his story is about making every note count. And this story was just so good because I'm a music lover, and it has affected me singing because I run out of breath. I can't stand long. And y'all know I love to praise God. So it really affected me in a lot of different ways. But, we had a song, my sister and I, when we had our Willis Sisters album, we had a song called Lift Up Your Hands, right? And one of the gospel rappers that was on that song, in his rap, he said, if I had no arms, I will still lift my hands. So even though you may not be able to see it, I'm still praising God. So it was just awesome. But anyway, let me tell you about Billy and how Billy made every note count. So let's see. So at Billy's jazz performance, he's been living with cancer since 1996. 1996. Okay? At Billy's jazz performance, the bass player taps a smooth, steady line of deep notes. The drummer brushes. You hear that? You hear the brush, y'all? Lightly across the top of the snare. Billy's fingers dance across the keyboard. From the music pulsing on stage and the mesmerizing atmosphere of the club, you can tell that Billy and his band members are accomplished musicians. One thing you would never guess, however, is that Billy has kidney cancer. He's been living with it for over 2 decades. Throughout his many years with cancer, Billy has been playing, composing, and teaching music. He first learned how to play the piano when he was 7 years old, and he has never stopped learning and growing as a musician. When I'm writing music, I feel a connection to a spiritual power. It's a healing affair. For Billy, music has been more than just a passion. In many ways, it has been his salvation. Cancer is a shot across the bow that says, hey, you're not going to be here forever. If there are things you want to do, you better get busy. Billy's long battle with cancer started suddenly on his way to New York. After some tests and appointments, he was diagnosed with kidney cancer. Billy underwent surgery and for several years lived cancer-free. He credits the support of his wife, daughter, and many good friends with helping him through the diagnosis and treatment. One of the things I found out is that I had chosen my friends well. That's very important. That's very important. In 2007, the cancer returned in his liver, lungs, and brain. Billy's team has been there every step of the way, helping to make a treatment plan for his changing situation. Through it all, Billy has continued to play and compose music whenever he's able. When I'm playing music, my mind is occupied with what I'm doing. So it can't be occupied with thinking about my cancer. Billy stresses how important it is for people living with cancer to fill their lives with activities that are important to them, whether it's family, music, a hobby, or a passion. It's critical to have something positive to focus on. I think music is a healing force, and I can feel that in my writing and playing. When I'm feeling really sick, yeah, it's harder to play in those times, but the music's been very important to me. Along with being a musician and a teacher, Billy hosts a weekly jazz radio show. He gives talks about music and cancer. He performs for church services and he plays regularly with his trio and with his wife Renee, who is also the vocalist in the band. These days, Billy also focuses on advocating for people living with cancer and sharing his story to help inspire others. I think if you have cancer for several years and you're fortunate enough to be in fairly decent shape, it becomes a responsibility to try to help others get through this experience. One thing Billy has learned from his experience with music and with cancer is the importance of living in the moment. Jazz, in particular, requires you to continually improvise and approach every new situation with an open mind and a positive spirit. From those experiences, you might say that Billy has become a master of making every moment and every note count, be inspired. And that inspired me, making every note count. To have cancer since 1996 and still be here, to find the energy to encourage, uplift, to keep going, keep striving, keep moving, stay busy, go after your dreams, run after your vision, run after your goals, run after your destiny, run after your purpose. Don't let nobody, stop you. Don't let nobody, whatever attacks, whatever happens, with shade, anything that could possibly stop you or think that it's stopping you, you have something else that's putting a battery in your back. Okay? And it's not people, it's you. It's what you want to accomplish. It's what you want to leave behind because you don't know what your days are going to be like. You don't know if you're going to be tired one day or up. Yesterday, I cooked dinner. For the first time, I was tired after. I was tired. But I cooked because I said, I'm going to push. I'm going to strive. I'm going to keep moving. Yes, give yourself permission to do what makes you happy. And you have to. You have to make, we are in, hey, Kia. Thank you for tuning in, Mama. But we get so caught up in people pleasing that we forget to please ourselves. Thank you, Tan. She said, and it was so slap, was so tasty. It took a lot out of me, but I cooked, And but We spend too much time, energy, and effort in wondering what other people's gonna say, wondering what they're gonna do, how they're gonna treat us, and we are not happy doing what makes us happy because we're trying to people please. You know, what I eat don't make you crap. What I do in my life should not move you, stop you, or hinder you in any way, shape, or form. But because we care so much about what other people think, it stops us from doing the things that makes us happy. And at the end of the day, we have all of this guilt, all of this shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I wish I would have did this. If I didn't do this, I wish I would have did this. And we don't take the time. And I'm not saying to be selfish or self-absorbed. I'm just saying run after your purpose. Run after who you aspire to be. Run after who you believe God called you to be. You understand what I mean? Appreciate your life because it's important. Yeah, the green beans. Green beans. They were good, right, y'all? They ain't say nothing, but yes, they were good. I couldn't eat it. And mind you, I cooked and I couldn't eat. But anyway. But, so that's why I named tonight's show Appreciation. Because we can appreciate other people, but do you appreciate yourself? Do you appreciate what God put into you? What you bring to the table? What makes you happy? And it may not be everybody's cup of tea. Like, at the root of it makes me happy. Inspiring, encouraging, and uplifting people makes me happy. And I do it not for vain repetition or vanity or to be seen, because I really don't want to be seen. You know what I mean? That's why you don't see me a lot. I really don't want to be seen, but I will do what thus saith the Lord. It's been many times when I ask God, do you want me to proceed? Do you want me to continue to do this? But see, my pastor was talking about things because we're celebrating, even though I'm not in the building, I'm there in spirit. He's celebrating 21 years in ministry. And when he first started, he said he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know how he was going to do it. He didn't have the resources. He didn't have any of it. He didn't have the education. He didn't have any of it. But that didn't stop him because God gave him a vision. God gave him a purpose. And he ran with it. And though it took years, he stayed with it. And he was encouraging us to stay there until the fruit is manifested in the natural. Don't give up. That's right, D. As we proceed to give you what you need, he told me that because I asked. Believe me, because at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night, I'll be tired. And I'll be like, do I have to do the show? But then I was like, I have to do the show. And that's how I know that it's not mine. But it gives me satisfaction once I get through that hour. It gives me satisfaction. I did it. I did something that I thought I couldn't do. But I did it. What are the things that you want to do in your life that you're scared to do? That you're scared to try? Why don't you try it? You don't know when things are going to happen in your life. You don't know. And you don't know why it's so heavy on you to do it. But if he called you to it, he'll bring you through it. That's how I feel. That's how I always feel. That it's nothing shaking my faith. And if this was a test of my faith, right, this diagnosis, I stomped on the enemy's head. Because what you thought I was going to stop and curse God? No, I'm going to praise him even the more. Because I still have breath in my body. I have food, I have a roof, I have clothes, I have everything that I need in my life. And on top of that, I have a new grandbaby. I just celebrated my oldest grandson's birthday on Friday, and it was phenomenal. These things we need to appreciate. Our family, our friends, how God is growing our tree, excuse me, y'all. But appreciation of how far you've come. You know, our pastor was talking about we could have been a hot mess a couple of years ago, which I can attest I was. But you know what? Guess what? I got this. That's how he walked past. Oh, I'm sorry, I had to cover my mouth. It's not that you have to do the show. It's that you appreciate that you get to do it. Yes. And that he picked me to do it. I didn't even know because I asked God what my purpose was. He gave me at the root of it. Ask God what your purpose is. If you don't know what your purpose is, if you never knew what it is that you wanted to do in your life, ask yourself. Ask yourself these questions. What am I good at? Because I asked God that. I said, well, what am I good at? Because I like designing, houses. I like, decorating. I love shopping, be a person of shopping. I said, what do I do really good? And he said, talk. You talk. And I said, I do talk. And that's what he gave me. And I appreciate it. Because guess what? When it's my time to go, right? My daughter pointed this out to me. She said, Mom, you know what you did for me? She said, you left me video. What you have done for me is you have left me videos. I can see your face, I can hear your voice, and I can receive your advice at any time. All I got to do is go see your videos. So I still did something great, even if it didn't touch nobody else. When I'm long gone, my grandkids can look up these videos and see their grandma, their Mimi, telling them how to heal, how to be set free. You never know why God called you to do a thing. But believe me, it's not for a short-term goal. It's always for a long term. Because remember, he knows the ending at the beginning. He knows why he created you. He knew you once you was in your mother's belly. Appreciate yourself. Appreciate your life. If there's changes that you need to make in your life, make them. It's not always going to be easy. Believe me, it's not. This is not an easy feat. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, and I don't have any enemies. They might think that I'm their enemy, but I don't have no enemies. Because I try to treat people appropriately at all times. But I would never wish this on anybody. To go through, to endure. But if you can endure whatever you're going through, endure. But endure with faith. Make sure that your faith is sound and that you know whose you are. And if you're not saved, I think it's time for you to look into that. Because I had a dream, and we have our Bishop McLaughlin from the Potter's House. I saw a video where he looked at the Left Behind movie. And he was asking how many preachers and teachers and stuff is gonna be left behind. Oh, y'all see my cup, y'all? Please check the description box and purchase. But he, and we think that we're living right and we're living correctly. This pastor in Left Behind was left behind. And he was a preacher. I read the whole series of those books. And one of the things that and I don't fear much, but what I do fear is being left behind. I fear that 7-year tribulation that's going to hit this earth. Okay? Y'all looking at today, and we got this new live or new age stuff, which is fine. You have this new age stuff, but that's not going to get you into heaven, baby. It's not. You need the blood of Jesus to get you there. You need to be covered. Okay? You need to be covered. And a lot of people don't believe that. But I do. And my dreams, and I don't dream. I haven't. And this is another thing that changed in my life when I had divine interruption. I'm starting to dream more. And these dreams are not good dreams. I know that's right, Tifa. But see that, but wait. See, look. You don't now listen to this, okay? You don't have to fear that. You were saved already. Yes. But that pastor and Left Behind thought he was saved too. But his behind was left behind because something wasn't right in his life. Okay? So we have to really be mindful. Okay? We don't know. We be thinking we on the right track. And God said, I know ye not. And you said, and remember, in the Bible it says one person will be in the bed and the other person's clothes will be there because they got caught up. His wife. No, that's Rayford. Rayford's wife. See, I read the whole series. Rayford's wife was the saved one. He was the pilot that flew the planes. He got left behind. And so did his daughter, because she was at the age of accountability. But his wife and his son got caught up. So it's real deep. Y'all should check it out. I was so happy when Bishop McLaughlin talked about Left Behind because my sister and I read it in the beginning of 2000. And when they got to the Jesus part after the 7 years, I was scared to read it. Not scared, but I was like, I felt the energy of Jesus coming, And I may be losing some people, but I want y'all to understand. Y'all gotta get rid of this hurt because the church is not your savior. Jesus is. People will fail you all the time. People will disappoint you all the time. It says it in the word. But that does not mean that God does it. And we question God, why this person had to die? Why this had to happen? Listen, things happen in life. But you better cover your soul. And that's just a warning. Because the dream that I had last night was a warning. Okay? It was a warning for me. I don't know about everybody else. But it was a warning for me. So, appreciate your life. Try to live good. Try to be a good person. Just being a good person ain't going to get you into heaven. You got to do the works of the Lord. You got to know who he is. Point blank. That's just not going to change. He said he's coming back for 144,000. Don't you want to be in that number? I know I do. I know I do. All right, but we're gonna continue talking about appreciation. I'm sorry. I went sideways. I done lost a couple of people because they're like, oh Lord, she talking about Jesus. Yeah, yeah. But we also need to understand that these are the signs of the times, okay? I remember, I think it was 2013, 2012, and I read in the Bible that the Euphrates River was going to dry up, right? Then I saw on the news, the Euphrates River dried up and the da-da-da-da-da. I was sitting there like, these are the signs of the times. You know, we got to get right. We got to get right. Get right with God. We got to get right with our families. We got to get right with the people around us. If we need to cut people off, we got to cut them off. We just got to do what we have to do, okay? So that we can live and be in purpose, on purpose. Does that make sense? We need to walk in purpose, on purpose, because we don't know the day or the hour, all right? Appreciate your life. Appreciate what God has blessed you with. If he's blessed you with things and that's what you want, then you just got your just reward. But, you know, like I always say, I want my crown, baby. And like Hope gave me my crown, I want my crown. So I will do the works of the Lord to receive my crown. Okay? That's right, Nikki. In purpose, on purpose. You have to. You have to find your purpose. You're not just sitting here. You know, I think that everybody has a purpose. But it's our choice to figure it out or let it lay dormant. But everybody has a purpose. Just like last week I said, the Bible says every joint supplies. We need all hands on deck. We need everybody to be working on purpose. You know, on purpose. I know that I probably went sidebar on y'all, but I just really want y'all to understand that when you appreciate your life, especially now, you know, I'm not going to only talk for myself, but I appreciate my life even the more because I took a lot of things for granted in my life that I no longer will take for granted. I won't. Because we're not promised tomorrow. We're not. So get caught in your purpose on purpose. Appreciate the people that you have in your life. Don't take people for granted. God chooses our purpose. We discover it. Right. That's why we got to seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of these things shall be added unto us. Because we seek to find. We have to seek it. It's not going to drop in our laps. We have to seek it. We have to look for it. We have to. We have to. But we were all born with a purpose. We all have a purpose. We all have a destiny. We all have an end result. It may not have started off like that, but if you're in the will of God, it will end like that. And that's just really the truth. But, you know, and if you know, like this crown, this is just a visible crown for here, right? But I believe that my crown is going to be tall because ever since I got saved in 2001, I have been working. I didn't understand it. I didn't even understand my walk. I didn't understand why I had to go through certain things until God explained it to me. That I had to go through things so that people will receive me. Because people don't receive people who ain't never been through anything. People who's telling people how to live their life and they ain't live it, they're not received very well. But when you have somebody who has experienced what you've experienced and made it through, that makes even more difference. Now, could we be better people and just take people at face value? Sure. Do we? No. No, we don't. How many of us, when we was growing up, touched something hot that we were warned was hot? I know I did. Don't touch that iron, it's hot. Don't touch that stove, it's hot. And then once you touch that stove, once you touch that iron, and you felt what hot felt like, now you know, and now you won't ever do it again. Some people learn by experiencing. Some people can get it. They hear you talking and they get it. But appreciate your process too. Because although your process may not be exactly what you would have chosen for your life, God is still going to get the glory out of your life if you keep your hope and your faith intact. No, it's not what I would have chosen for myself, but I thank God I'm still here. I thank God that I have the people around me that I do. And the people that God removed out of my life, okay. I'm even okay with that too. Because you gotta move and shift. You can't be around people who stagnant and who doesn't want to change, who doesn't want to grow, to expand their life, to expand their thought process, to expand their mind. And the ones that are around you, they have to be just as strong-minded as you. If you're the strongest one in your circle, then you need a new circle. If you're the smartest one in your circle, then you need a new circle. Because you need to be able to learn and bounce ideas off of and grow. You cannot grow with people who want to stay the same and stagnant. And you can't people please. Oh, but how they gonna feel? Okay. They'll get over it. Before they met you, they was living their life. They'll live their life after you. But you gotta push forward. Some people are not good for you. And you can tell because certain things start to go wrong in your life when you have the wrong people in your life. Your finances, your health, your living situation, your job. Like all of these things can happen when you have the wrong people in your life. But when you have good people in your life and people that are going to push you and motivate you and encourage you and give you information that you never had, it's going to push you to your next level, to your next destiny, to your next level and purpose. Appreciate your life. Do the things that you need to do so that you don't have no woulda, coulda, shouldas. Because a lot of people have a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas. I should have did this. If I would have did this, my life would have been like this. If I should have, I could have did this. And then this would be, there's so much guilt. You know? Just do it, like Nike. Just do it. Because like Nikki said, up here, where's she at? Give yourself permission to do what makes you happy. That doesn't mean go and sin. That means give yourself permission to grow, to change, to evolve. Give yourself permission to come outside of the box. Stop people pleasing. Because when you realize that the people that you're trying to please is putting up a facade anyway, and that they're faking in fool's gold, you wasted a whole lot of time and energy and effort on trying to make people like you when that's not your circle that God wanted you to be around anyway. Give yourself permission to do what makes you happy. Walk in your purpose on purpose. Find your purpose on purpose. Seek to find. Appreciate the people that's around you, the people that will encourage you and uplift you. Make sure that you have positive affirmations. I am good. I am healthy. I am whole. Speak to yourself. Encourage yourself. Be the person in your own life that you're striving to be in everybody else's. Because once you do it in your life, then it'll spread abroad. You know? But we do things backwards. We do it for the people and forget about ourselves. And then if we're forgetting about ourselves, we're not concentrating on the things that we really should be concentrating on. Because, I always find a song every time, right? So, so just forget about yourself, concentrate on Him, and worship Him, right? Worship Christ, our Lord, worship Him, Christ, our Lord. So he says, just forget about yourself, concentrate on Him, and worship Him. He'll lead you. He'll lead you. He definitely will lead you. He'll guide you in spirit and in truth. Thank you, Tangela. She said, another good show, Shannon. I love and definitely appreciate you, girl. And I appreciate you, sis, all day, every day. Oh, thank you, y'all. I'm trying to find my new voice because he took the loud Shannon away and made me soft. Thank you, the Kia. But we need to forget about ourselves, y'all, and concentrate on Him. And everything will fall into place. It may be tough. The road may be bumpy. It ain't going to be smooth sailing like the Isley Brothers. The Isley Brothers like, nothing but smooth sailing tonight. Nope. But nevertheless, keep going. Keep striving. Keep moving. Keep pushing. Find your purpose. And live it on purpose. Also, again, y'all, look in the description box or up top. There is the link to buy the F Cancer and Cancer Sucks products. Some of the proceeds goes to me to help with this medicine that I have to get. I tell people about it all the time because this medicine, I have good insurance. I have Blue Cross Blue Shield. But even after the insurance, the copay is $1,500. That's very expensive. Who has $1,500 for a shot? But in order for my chemotherapy to work, I need that shot. Okay, so I'm just trying to build up the money to do what I have to do. So if you would like to donate, you can donate. But if you would like to buy something so you have it, I have t-shirts. My t-shirts is coming in. I have t-shirts. You can even buy At the Root of It t-shirts, hoodies, bags. There's all types of things that you can buy to help. And some of the proceeds go to me. I also want to let y'all know that, again, this is Black History Month. Both of the story of Stephanie and Billy, they were both a black man and a black woman who are striving in spite of their diagnosis. My Cash App, I think I have one of those. I think I have. Okay, this is a Cash App. Look at this. I'm like, I think I have it. That's the Cash App. If you would like to donate, that is my Cash App. But this month is Black History Month. And you know how I do. I have some special guests coming on. I always try to highlight our Black people and the great things that they're doing in their lives. So please tune in for the rest of the month. And I love y'all to life. I thank y'all for tuning in to At the Root of It. Again, appreciate life. Appreciate yourself. Stop people pleasing and learn how to please God. He's the one that you need to please. Okay? I love y'all. Till we meet again. Same bat station, same bat time. I hope somebody received something out of tonight's broadcast. I know that I did. And I thank you guys for tuning in to At the Root of It. Until we meet again next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I love y'all to life. And y'all have a great evening. Later.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it. Ow!
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward.
Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it. Ow!
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above any